everyone, welcome back. Welcome back to my kitchen. We're going to be cooking with Lynn today. I am doing a late night dinner. I don't normally like to do this. I wasn't very hungry when I came home. I actually wasn't feeling good. I've been running on empty for about 10 days now with between work and activities and taking care of family and obligations. And I think my body just pretty much crashed and burned yesterday. And I didn't allow myself to give into it. Went to work today, came home and said to my husband, I don't feel good. So we put a Christmas movie on. I laid on the couch. He watched the movie. I fell asleep. It was the perfect date. So now it's time to whip up something for dinner. So we're making chicken a la king casserole. But my way. My way is I look for a good recipe. And now I've never made this before. So, but it's, you know, it's one of those things if you're in the kitchen enough, you can whip this up. But I looked up a good recipe and it was great, but I didn't have the ingredients. I didn't have some of the ingredients. And so I said, okay, what do I have? And what do I need to use up that I can use in this recipe to sort of clean out some of the refrigerator, clean out some of the stockpile, clean out some of the pantry. You know, sometimes we get so blinded by this is the recipe and it calls for these exact ingredients. Now, that's not to say I follow certain recipes to a T. A lot of times I follow them and then I tweak them for my liking after because I kind of like a little bit more spice or a little less spice or something. But this is the kind of recipe where you can do a baseline recipe and then go, ooh, what do I have? For example, chicken a la king is usually served over rice. I don't feel like rice tonight. But I do have a little bit of noodles left from pasta the other night. Now that's not going to feed 3 of us. That wouldn't even feed my husband. But I do have this bag of cheese. How do you say that? Okay, there you go. You can read it yourself. I don't know. I got this at Aldi. It was during the Oktoberfest time. And it's spatzel pasta with mozzarella cheese and some other kind of cheese. I don't know. Anyway, it's been in the freezer. I need freezer space for other things. I just got a boatload of apples. I mean a boatload. I said to my husband, I think I have 1,000 apples in the back of our van. I'll have to fill you in on that story. But I'll be dehydrating them. I'll have to fill you in on that story. And making applesauce, and I'll fill you in on that story. But I had these and I need the freezer space. So I thought between that and these noodles left over, we'll pop those in together and whip that up. Now I have some leftover rotisserie chicken that I took out of the freezer. Again, using up what's in my freezer, and I need to make some freezer space. If you don't have leftover chicken, most recipes call for canned chicken. This is 12.5 ounces. So this is what they recommend, which is great. But I have this left over and I need freezer space, so I'm using that. I have, so little mixed vegetables left over. I was going to use, I just got a bag of peas from Walmart the other day. And I thought, you know what, I can hold my fingers there. There's just this little bit of vegetables. I'm going to add that to it. Use up, again, emptying out the freezers to make room. We're going to use some onion and garlic powder. We're going to use a little salt and pepper. We're going to use a red and a green pepper. It calls for a green pepper, and it calls for half a green pepper, and it calls for, I think it's 4 ounces of pimentos. And I ordered that, I did a Walmart grocery pickup, and I ordered the pimentos, at least I thought I did. I don't know, I had to do 2 days of grocery pickup. The Walmart app was weird. It kept kicking me out and I have to restart it. Anybody else having trouble with the Walmart app? And it doesn't, it used to be you could say you were doing it online or you're doing pickup. I had done an online order, which I have to show you guys. Now I wanted to do a grocery pickup and it was just weird. So in the end, I didn't have pimentos, but I thought I got a red pepper. So I'm going to use that instead. And then you need cream of chicken soup. And I believe it said 10 ounces. This is 26 ounces, so I'm going to use half the can. and then the other half I'll just save. And then I have this little baby can of chicken a la king, which is 10.5 ounces. And I thought to myself, the chances of me opening this and making a meal for me and my husband are slim. Usually I'll make a big tray, have something, and then we use it for a couple days. So I thought, you know what? Why not use this as something to empty out of the stockpile pantry, make my homemade chicken a la king, add this as well for extra bulk and seasoning, and then we will have a nice big size that we can have for dinner tonight and for lunch tomorrow. Then the other thing is I picked up some rolls I wanted to make this new tuna fish sandwich recipe that is the best in the whole world, that my friend Coretta makes. And I have all the ingredients. I just haven't had the time to make it. I want to film it for you guys and make it anyway. I picked these up. I don't know if we'll get to use them for that. I might have to go back to Walmart and order another bag. But in the meantime, I thought the chicken a la king, this would be nice on the side, a butter roll. And then I have some family Caesar salad. I didn't order the family size. It was one of those where they give you the replacement, and they gave me a big bag. So I thought we'll have some Caesar salad and cucumber on the side with all this. We'll have the mixed vegetables. We have the peppers in it. So we'll have plenty of veggies. And that's it. So I'm going to just show you what I'm doing. You can see all the ingredients. I think what I might do, now that I think about it, is sprinkle a little cheese on top. Cheese always makes everything good. And I do have an open bag of cheese that I used for macaroni and cheese ground. We can grab that. What do you think? A little cheese on top? You can grab that. I think it's on the top shelf of the fridge or the second shelf. It's a big bag folded over. You see that? I'm pretty good at knowing my stuff in my, oh yeah, perfect. Okay. So I had this big bag of cheese in the freezer forever. And I took this out, and there's enough in here that I can still make macaroni and cheese, which I'll be doing this week to go with some spicy pork chops that I'm making. But I think I might sprinkle a little bit on top. So we'll see what happens. When I get in the kitchen like this, I just start doing and whatever, and however it comes, it comes. That's the end of it. Let me show you the dishes I'm using. So they're sprayed, so if they look greasy, that's why. That was the one I had showed you that I got at a garage sale for $1. And then, yeah, it's Christmas, but who cares? Look at that one. That was from Dollar General last year. So I sprayed them. I'm going to put the noodles. This one says best if you do it in the microwave. So we will do that. I'll get the chicken a la king in the oven. While I'm doing that, I will bring you back to show you. I don't even know if you can you see the dehydrator? Okay, don't worry about it. We'll show them in a minute. I have my dehydrator over here with mushrooms in it that I dehydrated, and I'm going to show you and explain to you what I'm doing with that. And on that note, let's get cooking, guys. Let's get cooking. Grab your coffee, pull up a chair, come and join me in my kitchen, and we'll see how we pull together chicken a la king a la Lynn. Okay, so chicken a la king, a la Lynn is in the oven. The noodles are in the microwave as per the instructions. I do follow instructions once in a while. And we're going to make mushroom powder. What in the world and why would I do that? I don't like mushrooms. I don't like the texture. I don't like the smell. I don't like the look. They look gross. They look like a fungus, which is what they are, but they're good for you. They're so good for you. They're excellent for your dogs. If you do homemade dog food, mushrooms are excellent. My dog will eat them if they're kind of really embedded in his dog food, but will not just eat mushrooms. So let me explain. See this jar right here? I've shown you this many times. This is celery. This was dehydrated celery that I purchased at a discount grocery store called, sorry, that's my microwave going off, Sharp Shoppers. And Jamarelle Stewart goes there all the time if you watch her channel. We go out to, there's 2 different ones we visit in Pennsylvania. And I got this big thing, it was dirt cheap, and the celery just did not rehydrate the way I would like it. I have texture issues. I just do. I have always had them since I'm a kid. My youngest son, who's autistic, also has texture issues. So you know what? You just adapt. Celery's good for you. You need to eat celery. I don't like celery. I don't like the taste of it. Nothing. So what I did is, instead of throwing that out or passing it on, I just ground it down to a powder form. Now I can take a tablespoon or 2 of this, and I can make a roux with the flour and butter and milk and make a roux. And if I need cream of celery soup, Kip, go in the other room. Our dog is sniffing. He smells food. So at this point, he's snorting. But I can make a nice roux, add a couple of tablespoons of this powdered celery, and have cream of celery soup. I don't have to buy a can of, the brand name or anything at the Dollar Tree. In a quick pinch, just like that, I can make some cream of celery soup for a recipe. I could add celery powder to my meatloaf. I'll be making meatloaf cups later on this week. I'll probably add that in there to soup, to stews, anything, just to bulk it up and flavor it up and add some extra vitamins. So what I have for my dehydrator, this is a Nesco food and jerky dehydrator. So what I have is a Nesco food and jerky dehydrator, and I had another one. I don't remember the brand. If anybody's interested, it was like $25, maybe even cheaper than that. I used it for years, probably, what do you say, 3 or 4 years, Graham? Probably. He's giving me thumbs up because, it gets weird behind the camera here. You can talk, babe.
Okay.
So, anyway, I gave that one to my sister, but it was 1 temperature. So if you wanted to do, and yes, that's the dog lapping the water in the background. That's not my family eating the dinner. So, anyway, it didn't have settings. This one has settings on it. So it says, on the side here for jerky, it'll say for meats, for fish, and so on. And I like that I can just turn this to where it needs to be. This one came with 2 trays to make like fruit roll up, or if you have seeds or something like that. What else did it come with? It came up with a tray. So if I'm doing something small, I can't think of, maybe celery, something where you don't want it to go through. Let me show you the trays. I've got one empty here. So you can see the size of the holes on that tray. So it's a plastic that goes on top where the holes are much smaller so the product would not go through. So here's what I have. Let me pour these out so you can see it a little bit better. So when I filled the trays, it was, you don't want them touching each other. You want everything separate. So this was quite full. Can you see that okay, Graham?
Yep.
So this was really full. Now you can see a lot of space in between. So I ended up with 3 trays of mushrooms. So if you go to Costco's and you get a big box of the mushrooms, I think they only sell one size. All of that is here in these trays. And there's my mushroom. Can you hear that snap? Okay. So what I'm going to do, because again, I don't like mushrooms. I don't like the taste or the smell, but they're good for me. And I need cream of mushroom soup for some recipes. I now do not have to go buy cream of mushroom soup unless I wanted to, or whatever. But I'm going to make mushroom powder, just like the celery powder, so that I can make a roux and I can make homemade cream of mushroom soup without all the bits in it. I used to still have some in my freezer where I did it, but that's the other thing. I don't have a lot of freezer space. So somebody mentioned that they only have the freezer on top of the refrigerator, which we used to. And then we saved probably 2 years and we bought a small chest freezer. And she said, you know, she's running out of room in her freezer because she doesn't have room. And so here's the thing. You don't always have room to store stuff, or celery goes bad very quickly. So you can do something like this, either dehydrate it or make powder. So here's with the mushrooms. I can use this for soups, stews, anything I need. Gravy. This, oh man, wouldn't that be good in gravy? Even a little celery in the turkey gravy for Thanksgiving. But I don't have to store it in my refrigerator. You know, mushrooms go just like that. They get bad, they get yucky, slimy. You got to use them up quick. Nothing's cheap. So how can I preserve this? And especially if you're a family of 1, 2, or 3, you don't go through food as much and you buy this big container. Now what do I do with it? So I don't have to worry about freezing the cream of mushroom soup because I need freezer space. I can powder this, break it down into a powder, have it whenever I need it, make a quick small amount, big amount, whatever size amount I need without, you know, taking up freezer space or refrigerator space. So I'm going to fill this up and I'm going to use my bullet. My husband uses the bullet all the time for his smoothies. I have never, ever used a bullet. So can you see that, Graham?
No.
No. You got to go higher? Okay.
Yep.
So maybe you want to show them what this looks like so they can see. So this is the bullet. This is, it's a cup so that you can, let me show you. It stands and you can fill it. And then it has a blade here. It's like a mini blender. I've never used it. Like I said, I bought it for my husband for his smoothies. So put it in. He said turn it halfway and press down.
Press down, turn.
Press down and turn. Let's see. I think we have no more mushrooms left in there. Woo! Okay. Powder, powder, powder. Yeah, that looks, let's pour it out and see. Can you see this now? Let's see.
Yep.
Okay. Ooh, it stinks. It smells like mushrooms. Whoop, whoop. Okay. Now I want to show you. Woo, I got it all over. Look at this. Do you see this amount of mushroom? So once I finish, we'll probably fill the top of this jar. I might have to get a little bit bigger of a jar. You figure this jar here, this is a jelly jar for canning, equaled one of those big boxes of mushrooms from Costco. So whether you store that in your freezer or you store that in the refrigerator, look how much room I'm saving. So let's finish this up. And I'll bring you back and I'll show you how much we actually made. Okay, so dinner is done. I gotta wrap this up, guys. I got 2 hungry men and this lady. So I wanted to show you. Here we go. Mushroom.
Wow.
That is condensed mushroom. Now again, go to Costco, you get a big container. I dehydrated it. I could have just put them in a jar, something airtight like this with the dehydrated mushrooms and rehydrated them if I want them in the mushroom form, which I don't because I don't like it. So I've made mushroom powder. It can enhance any recipe where you need a little extra flavor, a little extra vitamin, or I can make my cream of mushroom soup. And again, this one was the celery. So dinner is done. I'm going to serve this up. I'm going to make it for my son first, but I'll show you what it looks like. I'll get some noodles in the bottom of his dish because he loves noodles. He's the noodle king. Give him that. I have this really great spoon that one of my friends gave me. It's got a little fall decor on there. So let me just scoop some of this in here for him. Oh my, my. There we go, right on top. And then he loves a plain roll, no butter. There we go. Voila. What do you think? Looks good? Okay. Come back and we'll catch you on the next video. Okay, Graham, how does it taste?
Wow, wow, wow.
You sure?
Delicious.
Okay.